Welcome, everyone. I am Chris Gore. This is Film Threat. And today, a special episode of Hollywood on the Rocks with Ng, the Merciless Alan Ng. We're talking The Acolyte. The first 2 episodes premiere tonight on Disney Plus. What is the future of the Star Wars franchise? We're gonna discuss it. Oh my God, I need coffee. I'm pre-coffee. Let's get Alan in here. Let's talk about it. Ready, gang? Get ready for The Acolyte. Oh my God. Something is weird. How come the music is still on? I can't. Alan, of course, typical. He's God.
4 weeks, 20 papers, that's $2 plus tip.
Gee, Johnny, I don't have a dime. Sorry.
Didn't ask for a dime. $2 cash.
Lane, I've been going to this high school for 7.5 years. I'm no dummy.
How do you do that with your mouth? That's amazing, Alan. How do you do it? How do you do it? Hey, want to say hi to everyone. I was just briefly on G&G Daily. Talked to the drinker, Ryan, Jeremy. All I did was say hello. I was just saying hi. They're still doing their show. I hope some of them come over here. But look, I'll say this. We're starting a little late. My apologies. The embargo for The Acolyte has just dropped.
It's been lifted.
It's been lifted.
Yes.
So people can talk about it. And I'll say Alan and I have seen the first 4 episodes. In fact, I watched them twice. And
I watched them this morning too. I like that 3rd episode. I've been hyping that 3rd episode, and part of me was like, am I just sorely misunderstanding it? And then it's like, okay, at least you're on board with me on this one.
No, we're going to talk about it, but it profoundly changes everything about Star Wars. And I want to point out, because I want people to see this. I want people to see this and remember this. This is the tweet I put out last night on my second viewing of that episode.
The shit. Yes.
Sorry. Remember this. This is a significant tweet. May the thread be with you.
Yes. And what was my response to that?
Yes.
Yes. That's how the greeting should go. May the thread be with you. Yes.
So I just want to say that tweet will take on more significance once everyone watches episode 3 of The Acolyte. So get ready for that. Let's say hi to everyone before we kick it off with here we go. We're going to start from the bottom here. So go for it, Alan.
All right. Nerd Cookies. Hey, I'm so excited to hear your thoughts. LOL.
Thank you, Nerd Cookies. Good to see you last night. Oh, I should say something. I was not on Versus yesterday. I'm in my car bleeding profusely from my hand. I got a gash in my hand from a glass. I was washing dishes. That's how boring this was. And gash, I got 7 stitches. I was in the hospital for 6 hours, and Alan very dutifully took over. So my apologies. I'm fine. It was not anything. It was just a stupid accident. I feel dumb. And Alan, you knocked it out of the park. So thank you for that. So there you go.
I'm just stacking up favors. That's all.
There you go. Sure. We'll get you I already got you a PS5 and the PS5 VR. What else can I do?
So I'm catching up. I'll say that.
Yeah, whatever. Can you read these? We'll go through quick before we start.
Professor R2 became a YouTube member. Thank you for that.
By the way, for members, I posted a ton of videos. I have still more to post. I posted videos when I went to Lucha Vavoom of videos that we can't show on our channel. They all got demonetized, but they're only for members. Look at the members only videos. My trip to Lucha Vavoom, then other videos. I have the panel at Monster Palooza of the Alien Romulus panel with director Fade Alvarez. Talks about Alien Romulus for an hour. I'm going to post it for members only. So that and the Terrifier.
Are you excited? Are you excited about Alien?
After seeing the panel, I'm excited because I don't want to say anything. Anyways, members, if you're a member, check the new videos. By the end of the day, I posted so many ones. So thank you. Hey, look who's here. Look who's here.
Mexican Iron Man for 10. Sounds like Star Wars is saved. Woot woot. Kidding.
Thank you, Mexican Iron Man. Hit me up when you're in town next. We got to hang out.
And from a Tothreo. Okay. Why does this feel like the waiting room for a funeral? Haha. Yeah, you kind of alluded to that on Geeks and Gamers.
I did.
Andrew Keys, Acolyte popcorn bucket is one of those Jack in the Boxes. You look down and a female fist punches you in the face. Wow. Ring jumps out.
Yep.
Let's see. From Mystic Troll, they are going to retcon Anakin's Chosen One prophecy with the twins' birth as they did in the first. I didn't make that connection.
And say they did it first.
And say they did. Yeah. But I didn't make the twins connection until now. So there you go. Patrick Towie, start the show. Been waiting forward for this. From Corbin Bear, I still love Star Wars, not Disney Star Wars. Yes, that's how I feel too. From Ragfur, I really want this to be good, but Disney Star Wars has a history of making crap. At least they're consistent. MK Solid 82. So episode 3 of this show is what ends Star Wars. Can't wait to hear about it. Or you can subscribe to Disney Plus and watch it. Angry Toy Box. Star Wars was dead years ago. Only the hangers on are still, hopefully. That hope was what?
Will disappear.
Yeah, will disappear.
Will disappear. Okay, we got it. Come on. Let's get through these.
Silver Media for 12. Will Disney ever admit any IP failure? No.
And a reminder.
A reminder from Lord Thoth. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Sign up as a member. Join us on Discord and Rumble and buy our merch. Yes, buy that merch.
What's funny. I just bought a bunch of Film Threat merch. Like there were t-shirts I didn't have that I wanted. I'm going to
buy some this week, definitely.
Yeah. There you go. All right. It's time. The embargo has lifted. Let's give our overall impression of The Acolyte. The first 4 episodes. Episode 1 and 2 aired tonight. We've seen 4 overall impressions, Alan.
Overall impressions. Dull. I'm not talking about the 3rd episode, but dull. I disagree with you. I think this of all the Disney Star Wars, I think Mando season 1, Andor, and this one have probably the best production values. In terms of compared to Ahsoka and Obi-Wan, this is great. But again, we're comparing piles of turds. Someone a while ago, about 6 months ago, said the words, turning Star Wars into a girls' brand will be the most costliest.
That was me.
Yeah, that was you. That was Star Wars is a girl's brand. Disney Star Wars is a girl's brand. Lucasfilm Star Wars, boys brand. This is a girl's brand. They're gonna lean into it. They have leaned into it. There's no denying. I don't know why you got so much shit for that comment, because it's true. It's a girl's brand. That look, Disney should just embrace it and say,
Yes.
look, we're making this for girls. That's fine. That's their business decision, and they can live with it. And to criticize you for pointing it out, I don't know why, because that's what they've done. So good job, Chris. You insightful as ever.
Well, I'll just say this, that this is the most agenda that they have tried to shoehorn into any property. It's not as apparent in episode 1 and 2, which are pretty much a police procedural with a murder mystery.
Yeah.
And it's not even a mystery. Okay. We'll talk about 1 and 2 in a second, but it's not even good on that level. And so much of the writing is simply bad because it uses or rephrases previous lines that have already been heard in Star Wars. There are so many, may the force be with you. I've got a bad feeling about this. You know, yeah. Don't make me, don't make me destroy you. Like, just variations on lines from Star Wars we've already heard in other Star Wars, but now with more agenda woven in. I think it's the cheapest looking of all of them. I think Andor looked the best. In the production value, Andor was the best. This is the worst because of, well, wait.
Okay, go ahead.
The exteriors of like outdoors, like a jungle environment, was created in a studio and it looks like it. It's bad. It's just bad. Second thing, the universe, no world building. There's no world building. And the Jedi, we'll get into detail, but the Jedi are basically like the LAPD. They're like, stop in the name of the Republic and the Jedi Order. There's even a scene where there's a ship shining a light down like a helicopter, saying, stop right now. Like, what
how many times do they say we're conducting an investigation?
Yes, we're conducting an investigation. And then with the whole Jedi Council on Coruscant, it's basically the corporate head office. There's even a scene where they're like, we'll talk about next steps. That's what people who work in the corporate world talk like. They don't use that language in Star Wars. We'll talk about next steps about this problem. That's a corporate meeting speak. The dialogue is so god awful in all the episodes that it's embarrassing.
Okay, I need to challenge. I need to challenge this. First of all, you cannot be seriously telling me that Ahsoka and Obi-Wan's production values were better than this.
Well, no, I can't say that. Let's just say this is just as bad as that. But they spent more money on bad.
I'm just saying it's worse. I'll say this. It's not Star Wars movie quality, but it's something I would expect from Star Wars TV in terms of a reduced budget on sets and things like that. I would expect that from a TV series. The other thing, dialogue-wise, again, this is worse than Obi-Wan and Ahsoka.
No.
The dialogue here is much better. Dave Filoni cannot write. And this feels like a breath of fresh air after coming off Ahsoka.
Oh, I disagree on that. I disagree. I watched these 4 episodes twice. I'm telling you.
Ahsoka's so much worse.
I was writing down lines. They were so bad.
Yeah. No, I believe you. I'm just saying, I cringed all through Ahsoka. I tolerated the Acolyte.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So my overall
Leslie Headland is a better writer than Dave Filoni. I'm saying it. That's
disagree, and you'll probably disagree.
You honestly think Dave
with me after you see it. And here's what I'll end with. My overall impression. This is the worst thing that they've gone full the Force is female. because when we get to episode 3 and 4, they change the definition of the Force.
Yes.
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 Yes. Oh, they do. We'll see. We're going to talk about each episode individually when you get, but they literally change the definition, which is why I'll say, may the thread be with you.
Yeah.
They re-explain the Force to which kind of retcons what it's like a rephrase of what Obi-Wan said, but in a feminized version. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just say this before we get into, individual episodes. In the same way that I think I'm going to disparage straight men right now, straight white men, if you will. I don't think straight white men should be overseeing a cosmetic brand or a fashion brand, or I don't necessarily think straight white men should oversee the Barbie brand. By the same token, Star Wars is a male-centric brand, and this team, at least the team for the Acolyte, which they proudly said is the majority women, they have a profound lack of understanding of what Star Wars is and what it means to people. And I think, you know what? There's certain types of people that are better at certain jobs. When I was doing television back in the day, right? G4. You know what? And all the time I did TV, you know who did my hair and makeup? It was women or gay men. And I trusted them. And they did a phenomenal job. I never once had a straight guy do my hair or makeup. Okay? Fine. Okay? But I think there are certain people attracted to certain types of things. And what I also miss about what's missing in Star Wars is what I will call gear porn. Like Han Solo represented gear porn. Like he was interested in the engine and this, you got tools and we're working on this thing and whatever. And the Millennium Falcon was like a Chevelle or like an old classic car that you would restore. You know, it was like that. It was that kind of fetishizing of tech. And that's not present in any of this. And that is part of Star Wars, is fetishizing tech and gear porn and spaceships. There's no love of any of that. It's just in the background as a thing. Like they bounce from planet to planet doing what? You know, trying to solve this mystery. So
yeah, 4 episodes. In 4 episodes, there's one starship. And there's a land speeder. That's probably the coolest thing you'll see in the first 4 episodes.
No, it's not cool. And by the way, names the planets. I wrote them down because they're so lame. They're completely not memorable. They're not memorable. These planet names, I wrote them down. They're terrible. They're like Ueda, or like they run, they're Karlak. That's the name of a planet. Karlak. They're just awful. Like nothing from this will be memorable. So I overall, I think this is going to break people, in particular when they get to the 3rd and 4th episode. So,
well,
Alan,
look, this leans heavily into Disney Star Wars. Look, the first thing I saw when Friday hit and we got access to all this was Grace Randolph's review. She loves it, and part of me thought to myself that this was written for Grace Randolph. You know, for that girl nerd who's way into Star Wars. That's the audience for the Acolyte. For guys like us who have grown up with Star Wars, who loved it as children, as kids, this is not for us. It's not for us. It's for Grace. It's not for us.
You mean when we were young boys?
Young boys.
Yeah.
I was 10.
Oh.
Sorry. It was like I was 10 when I saw it.
Yeah, I think it was 11. So, but look, they've changed it, and this is supposed to be the height of the Republic. This is the height.
Mm-hmm.
This is the High Republic, right? So it's an idyllic, perfect. Everyone's great. There's
no
pronouns,
war, no conflict,
no war. There's this mystery, but basically, the Star Wars universe is third world. It's still parts of it third world, and yeah, we'll get into specifics. Let's but that's it. My overall impression is this is a 2 out of 10, if not a 1 out of 10. It's the worst, if not the worst, next to Kenobi. And it has no interesting characters that are beloved. There are no there's no member berries. I didn't see any real member berries or cameos other than lines that people spoke, right? There were lines that are like, I've heard that in 10 other Star Wars movies. So yeah, so that's my overall impression. Alan, to your final thoughts on overall.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4 for production values. No, it's a 1 and a 2. It's a 1. This literally killed Star Wars. I just remember watching that third episode thinking, I do not recognize what this is. You know, the idea that after watching Return of the Jedi, after watching Return of the Sith, or Revenge of the Sith, thinking this is where Star Wars is headed. Not in my wildest dreams would I thought that this was where George was going to take the series to this point in time, and just realized at that point it's not for me. I don't need to be a Star Wars fan anymore. And you know, I think it's true. I think people have dropped out along the way. This is the final nail in the coffin. It's dead.
All right, let's go to your comments and then we'll get into episode 1 and 2 and we'll get specific. Here we go.
From Red French Moon for €5. Excuse me. Hello, Chris and Alan. I love the Lucha Vavoom posts. It looks like so much fun, and the burlesque ooh la la.
There's more coming.
Okay. From Sean Z, member for 16 months. Hey, Sean. Chris, loving the James Gunn look. Handsome as always. Alan, calling it how it is handsome as always. Film threat for life.
Thank you, Sean Z.
All right, Marco for £2. Thank you. Instead of donating to OnlyFans, I give it to you. Yes.
Thank you.
We're much more sexier.
From
Sean Z again. Yes, thank you. For $9.99. Alan, you make a good point about Star Wars quality-wise, but I think, but let's think about what year we're in. It shouldn't be that hard for them to make it look as good as if the original is quality to the production. I write.
You're adding words that aren't there. What are you doing?
Yeah, I know. I'm
as if there's quality.
There's going on in the chat where I can't blow the text up, and so I'm.
It's all good. You're doing fine.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you consider how far technology has progressed since the prequels, when you think about the money that this show has been budgeted for, you know, you'd expect. I mean, I think the quality is better than most. But it definitely should be a lot better than it currently is. A lot better.
Thank you, Sean Z, for being a member.
All right,
got a few more to read.
Yeah, Trevor. Pearl Harbor. Trevor Pearl Harbor for $5. Anybody knew the Acolyte was cooked from jump? Everybody knew the Acolyte was cooked from jump. Got it. Trucker Mark for $5. So happy to see you're back. You are back. You're back and healthy. I'm strong enough in the Force to see the crap in the shows that Disney has been putting out. Poop, 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 poop. And Razorburn for $5. Thank you. Chris, is the episode 3 revelation as bad as finding out midichlorians are behind the Force in the Phantom Menace?
worse than the midi chlorians. It's worse. It's worse. We'll get into it. We're going in order. So we're going in order. And want to thank our 2 new members, the Nets Rack and Marco and Sons and Shadows. Check out our member videos. There's a member video.
Well, Sons and Shadows gifted 5 memberships.
Oh, gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Sons and Shadows. Go to join us on Discord. Look at the members specific videos, and I'm posting more later today. Look for those. A couple more chats here. We'll get back into it.
Yes,
go ahead,
from
Alan.
Linus for 1999. I think YouTubers need to stop telling people you haven't watched it, so you can't have an opinion. That's supplementing trash people don't want to watch. That's supplementing trash people don't want to watch. I've gone through 30 years of that garbage. Stop regurgitating it.
Well, I'll say this. I disagree somewhat. I think if you're going to review something, you should have seen it. You can see the trailers and have an opinion about whether you would like it or not based on the trailer. Example, a lot of people saw the trailer for Furiosa and were like, I don't want to see that movie. And I don't blame the people that didn't want to see Furiosa based on the trailer because it looked like girl boss nonsense. Turns out it was a bait and switch. It wasn't girl boss. But I don't begrudge people having an opinion on something they haven't seen, but to really dig in and have an opinion, you need to have seen it, right? Like, because you can really, but Furiosa is an example of that. It's an example. People saw the trailer and said, nope, not for me. No Mad Max. I'm not going to see it. And that is a fair assessment and a fair opinion to have based on how they marketed the movie, which was
the studio.
terrible.
The studio created the trailer. That's what they want you to see about their movie. And yes, you have the right to criticize based on what the studio showed you.
Precisely.
It's not like you saw a bootleg copy of it and started crapping on it. This is the approved preview that the studio has given you. So yeah, you're free to do your opinion.
So Linus, it's a little nuanced. I agree somewhat, but still think if you want to review something, you need to have seen it. So there you go. Go on.
From the serial nerd for €5, Variety already had an article titled "The Acolyte Goes Andor as Another Star Wars Success on Disney Plus." Ha ha ha! Thoughts guy.
My God, for real? We'll try to find that article and we'll talk about it before the end of the show. Yeah, that's shocking. That's shocking. Thank you to Trucker Mark
for Disney.
Thank you for Trucker Mark became a new member. Check out those video exclusives. 2 more super chats. We're gonna get into it. Go ahead, Alan.
Falame for €5. I dropped out of Star Wars after The Force Awakens, came back from Mando, dropped out again after Obi-Wan, Boba Fett, and Mando season 3. I have no interest left.
And
there's a progression going on here.
I don't blame you. Couple more here.
Okay. And then CS for $10. When Kenobi came out, I was disappointed. From what you guys are saying about the Acolyte, it sounds like it sucks. But weirdly enough, I don't care anymore. And I'm actually glad that it's bad. Yeah, wouldn't it have been horrible if the Acolyte was actually good?
That would be weird.
And
Weird.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, Alan. 2 more.
Linus for $4.99. Thank you. I don't get paid to review things, so I see your point. I just don't care.
Yeah, well, just thank you, Linus. Very generous. Yeah, you can have an opinion. You see a trailer, you're like, that's not for. You can see a poster and say, I don't want to see that movie. Like fair. An opinion is different. We're trying to give an informed opinion, which will help you. And thank you so much. So very generous. Okay, last one.
And from the NetTrack, I believe so. Let's see, for 50 Danish krona. Thank you. This video will get more views than the Acolyte. It's starting to.
Well, we'll see about that. It's time, Alan.
I'm surprised by the numbers, the views that not only that people have been reading my tweets on their channels. And it's kind of interesting to see the view count on those.
Yeah. So, all right, we're gonna do spoilers later. Let's talk about episode 1 and 2, which premiere tonight. They are short. I wrote it down. The first episode is like, they're like 30-40 minute episodes, but there's like 2 minutes of previously on and 4 minutes of end credits. So each episode is short. So tonight you're going to see about an hour of the Acolyte split into 2 episodes. We meet a mysterious figure who goes up against who meets Carrie Ann Moss, who's a Jedi.
Yeah, Master Indara.
Challenges her to attack her, right? To attack her. And what happens? They get into a fight, and Jedi Master Indara is challenged. A fight ensues in this bar. The bar is kind of ripped apart, and with some sort of waifu fighting without lightsabers, by the way. And Indara is taken down. I should warn spoilers. Does anyone care?
Well, you're talking about the first 7 minutes of the episode.
And taken down by a mysterious figure. Then we meet this mysterious figure, a person who's works on a starship. Her name is Osha, and she's a mechanic, which is basically a mechanic. And they allow humans to work on the exterior of starships, mainly reserved for R2 units. But they are humans who go out, and she's a mechanic, and she looks exactly like the mysterious figure that murdered the Jedi Indara. Is there a mystery? And the Jedi come in, and you meet Jedi Master Soul, who is played by that guy from Lee Jung-jae from Squid Game. And there is an investigation launched to find this mysterious figure who is killing Jedi. And they arrest Osha on the ship. So Charlie Barnett, who plays Yord, and another Jedi show up and basically arrest her. And it's weird. The way the Jedi are here, they're like cops. Mm-hmm. They're like, in the name of the Jedi Order and the Republic, you are under arrest for... Is this what the Jedi are? They're just cops? Go on from there, Alan, and explain what else happens before the end of this episode.
Yeah, basically, they think Osha is the killer. And Osha used to be the Padawan to Master Soul, and also best buddies with Yord. And so Yord shows up on the ship. Osha thinks it's a happy reunion, but no, she's the suspect in the murder of a Jedi. They arrest her. They throw her in the clink. But the other prisoners in the prison, in the cell hold of the ship, start a mutiny, and they escape, and the ship crashes, but miraculously Osha survives the ship crash, and now she's being pursued by the Jedi. And in there she has a dream where she chases what appears to be a younger version of herself. Maybe is that her? Could it be her? I don't know. And then she gets captured again. And I believe that's the end of this.
That's the plot of the first episode. A couple things. I took notes, so I have to say. Carrie Ann Moss as Indara, she says, she has a comm device. She says, I have identified a Force user. Like, this is weird. So that's a thing, I guess, in the galaxy.
Yeah, because you have to be trained to be a Force user. But as the opening credits state, that there's an underground Force training going on. So
right.
One thing that the assassin, possibly Osha, says is when she challenges Indara, Indara doesn't respond, and she basically, and when it comes to her lightsaber, she says, "A Jedi doesn't pull her weapon unless she's prepared to kill, which was a weird statement, which pays off later.
Yeah.
So now we're starting to get into a little bit of the protocols of the Jedi, that they're completely, that the Force and everything they learn is completely for defensive use and not for offensive.
And as I was saying, you didn't agree with me. So many of the lines in this, it's like Chat GPT wrote the dialogue. Maybe not the script, but the dialogue. Because Indara says, "This is a fight you will not win." It's like rephrases of other things we have heard in Star Wars. So it's very unoriginal in that sense.
Yeah. By the way, the way Indara dies, what was your impression of that?
It was kind of lame.
It was like, oh, that's how you kill a Jedi? It's that easy?
I thought it was so easy. Like, why don't other people kill Jedi that way?
Yeah. In fact, why, I mean, if you have daggers, you can kill Jedis.
Yes, you can kill a Jedi with a knife. We should mention we're going to talk spoilers. Does anyone care about spoilers?
Again, we're talking about the first 7 minutes of the series.
Yeah. But also, there's another thing that bothered me is some of the modern language woven into the dialogue. For example, Osha has a little robot. She has a sidekick robot that's named Pip. Yeah. It's basically a smartphone that is a robot. That's what it is. It's a smartphone. And it's all cute and it's like this big. It's the size of like an iPad. And
you know what it is? It's a sonic screwdriver with a personality.
Yeah. So it's just so lame. It's so lame. And she says to it, like, she wakes up, Osha wakes up, there's the droid Pip making noises, and she says, inside voices. Inside voices is a term used on Earth to reprimand children who are talking too loud. How would someone in outer space, a mechanic, basically an orphan woman, know the term inside voices? This is how bad the dialogue is in this show. It's a mix of things we've already heard in Star Wars with modern talking. And the other thing is, you didn't even notice it, Alan. When Osha is arrested by Yord and the other Jedi, Yord says to her, "Mothers and your family." Mothers.
No, I picked that one up.
Okay, I had to rewind it to re-listen to it. Wait, mothers. He was born of 2 mothers. And the whole thing that there are twins, that's broken in the first episode.
Yeah.
So it's not a big reveal. There are like the whole thing of there being twins, two of the same. That's the first episode of the show. It's revealed, and you can figure it out pretty handily. Yeah. There's nothing exciting about it. So, anyways, Alan, anything else about episode 1? It's just it's bad, but nothing egregious. It's like, all right, whatever, a murder mystery. There's Jedi involved. They're basically the LAPD. They're cops, and there's an assassin, and they're trying to find her, and a couple of annoying things, but whatever.
Yeah, I'll say this. Here's some notes that I have. One is, I appreciate the fact that one of the leads is Asian, but there are more Asians in it. In fact, there are 2 Nemoidians in it, and they're so
that's right.
There's two more Asians, right.
But they don't have Asian accents. Right?
I think they started with it, but I think they lost it, which kind of insults me, that fact that you still couldn't hire Asians to voice the Nemoidians. Jonas asked me about, because apparently they were intimacy coordinators, and that shows up in the first episode where Yord is shirtless, and he shows off his glorious Timothée Chalamet-like body.
Here's what's funny. Let me say about Yord. Yord is played by this actor, Charlie Barnett.
Yes.
He is the
He's
guy
been
that
pretty
said the
famous
whole
for the
thing.
past few days.
He's the thing that said, when Anakin blew up that Star Destroyer, how many people died? And Anakin did that. He may be a terrible, like, at Star Wars lore. He's actually good in the show. He's one of the few actors I liked. Whereas Rebecca Henderson, who is
Venestra, Master Venestra.
Vernestra Rowe, who is Leslie Headland's wife, she's terrible. No surprise, the sort of nepotism hire is a terrible actress. No surprise. Charlie Barnett as Yord, he's kind of comic relief, and he's good. He's actually, I'd say he's one of the better actors next to Lee Jung Jae. So
okay, so let me bring up the introduction of Master Venestra, Leslie Headland's wife. Here it is. This is how we first see her. She walks into the room, and look at what she does with the automatic doors here. She uses her hand. You ever go to the supermarket and walk through the opening, the automatic doors, and you put your hand out like it's the Force?
Yeah, I do that. I actually do that.
There she goes. She's doing it right there.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Yeah, it's kind of it's like someone told someone, here's everything you need to put in a Star Wars show to make it Star Wars. You need Jedi in robes, you have to say these things, you have to do this stuff, but still the tone just doesn't feel like Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the other thing is, I mean, what the problem I have with the series in terms of the writing, let's talk about how bad it is. It just feels like everything is written to satisfy the moment, as opposed to, here's a Jedi with certain powers, using the Force, has a lightsaber, but it just seems like the use of that only goes to the narrative that is currently being told, as opposed to, well, why couldn't a Jedi just have done this? Or why couldn't a Jedi just done that? In this opening battle sequence between the assassin and Master Indira, it's like, so Indira uses Force pushes to kind of cause her to freeze. She never uses the lightsaber until the daggers come out. And then you have this Force user who, I don't understand her powers, because what it seems like is that when you watch it, the first thing you're going to think of is she has superhuman strength, because she can block a punch with her hands. She can flip over a giant table, and then she can kick it across the room. Then she can easily dispatch with a gang of thugs with one single punch. A punch to the stomach, it takes them down. A punch to the leg cripples them, and that's Chris just disappeared, and that's why I'm like, I don't understand, because look, spoiler alert here. I believe this is kind of the origin of the Sith, and that this assassin is being trained in the dark arts there, and I don't understand how those powers work and how they disappeared by the time we get to the prequels and the original series.
Let's move on to episode 2, and after we talk about that, we'll go to your comments, and then we'll talk about 3 and 4. So episode 2, yay! They're on another planet,
a Karlak, I believe.
Karlak, where we learn that the other twin, the evil twin, I mean, this is like such a trope in sci-fi. The evil twin, like evil Spock or whatever. This has been done, right?
Yeah.
Is there to assassinate another Jedi.
Yeah. On Karnak, there's a Jedi temple.
Yeah, there's a Jedi temple, and there's a Master Torben. And since this event that happened 16 years ago, he has not spoken a word. He is meditating, floating, and he's older than his younger self, right? And oh, by the way, I watched the show with the closed captioning on, and when robots talk, you know what they say in the closed captioning?
It's like robot.
It's no, in binary language.
Oh,
binary, specifically for episode 2. So she is trying to assassinate Master Torben. He is in an impenetrable shield. She needs a poison or something as a way to get to him. And she finds this guy who's helping her. He's just an assistant to a I have to say the episode 1 ended with meeting there's a dark lord, shadowy figure in a robe. I think I figured out who it is.
Oh, did you?
After episode 3, it's pretty obvious.
Okay, you'll have to tell me afterwards.
Well, I'll tell you when we talk about 3.
Okay.
There's a shadowy dark figure that May is the master, and she wants to please the master by assassinating all these Jedi, right? So her next target in episode 2 is Master Torben, but she's got to sneak into the temple. She sneaks in. She can't get through the shield.
There's a force shield, a force field around him.
And she has this guy who's helping her, who gives her just, stuff. He's like a dealer.
He's the Q of this gang here.
Yeah. And what's weird is what I really dislike, on a side note, the world building. Everything in Star Wars is third world. This is supposed to be the High Republic. Is there any other world that's just a decent world? Everything is like third world and bribes and scum and villainy and all that. That's the universe, right? So they bring all the Jedi. That's Yord, the other, what's the young
Jekki.
Jekki, Yord, and Master Soul take Osha to this other planet where May was spotted trying to kill Torben. When I'm saying all this out loud, does it sound like terrible fanfic? I just realized, hearing myself talk, this sounds like awful fanfic. What am I even saying? Anyways, explain what happens for the second half of the show. That's the setup.
So someone attempts to kill Master Torben there, and that person looks a lot like Osha, but weirdly enough, Osha is with them. What? So I mean, it's been already discovered. It's May, the girl's May. It's Osha's sister, who they thought died in a fire that May started on their home planet. They thought she was dead, but no, she's not dead, and she's the one who's killing Jedi. In fact, there are 4 Jedi she is going after. It was the Indira in the first one, Torben here,
Indara,
Torben. There's a Wookiee, and then there's Master Saul. Those are the 4 Jedi she has to kill, and she has to kill each of them in a specific way. That is what her master has told her, and so this is where I think Leslie Headland thinks that she's a great writer, in the sense of each of the Jedi has to be, like I said, murdered in a different way, and it's up to May to figure out how she is going to kill. It's like a puzzle, and in this case, killing Torben, it is interesting, but in a lame way, in the sense of it should have been written a whole lot better. Like if you were a sci-fi writer, a classic sci-fi writer, wrote for Twilight Zone or Star Trek, you'd figure out a better way to kill this guy the way she did than the way it actually happens. Here's one thing that, so I mentioned in the first episode, where the assassin, where May says a Jedi does not pull her weapon, the lightsaber, unless she's prepared to kill. When they talk to this guy who is basically May's, May's go-between her and the master, this kind of, street rat kind of guy, they corner him because they want to find May. And when he says, "I don't know who you're talking about," what does Yord do? He whips out his lightsaber and points it in his face. Yord takes his lightsaber and points it at an unarmed man.
Yes,
and this is why. Yeah, go ahead.
They're like making the Jedi evil. They're like overzealous cops or overreaching cops. Like Well,
also it just shows the bad writing. I mentioned before that it looks like Leslie Headland is writing for the situation. So in the first episode, it's like, well, you're not supposed to be the first person to draw your lightsaber. The May says, "Fight me." Well, Jedis don't fight. They defend. But in this case, the situation calls for a menacing Jedi. And so therefore I'm going to write that Yord pulls out his lightsaber and points it at this unarmed man. Yeah. This is how I felt the writing was all throughout, that there are no rules. She doesn't really understand, let alone she doesn't understand the Force and the Jedi. She doesn't understand characterization as to why people act the way they do. Because it just seems out of place for Yord to have done what he did.
Yes, not only does she not follow the rules of the universe as established by George Lucas, she doesn't follow any of the rules she sets up for herself.
Mm-hmm.
So
and we know that she set up rules for herself.
Right. Let's talk about what happens in the second half of the show. So she gets this poison and
convinces Torben to drink it.
So here's what I don't get. Torben is so distraught by what happened 16 years ago, which we will see in episode 3. Episode 3 is a flashback episode where we see what this horrible event that happened 16 years ago is about.
Yeah.
Why would a Jedi commit and end his own life? Why would a Jedi do this?
Or why would it waited 16 years to wait for someone to bring him poison so he can kill himself?
And by the way, I've seen episode 3. I still don't understand why a Jedi would do that. This is unprecedented in Star Wars, where a Jedi would end his own life over some shame, over an event that he's really kind of not that responsible for. We'll talk about 3
we'll talk about when we get that episode. I have theories.
But it's weird. So he ends his life.
Well, there's a theme that is going on through the first 2 episodes, and it's PTSD. On I think 2 occasions, Osha wakes up after a nightmare, and then we have this Torben guy here who clearly has suffering from PTSD because he's locked himself away in solitude, put a force field around him, and now he's finally relieving the guilt he's bore over all these 16 years by killing himself. And it's just lame ways. It's just lame ways to write a science fiction show because it's too easy. There's not a lot of thought put behind it, and Jedi have telekinetic powers.
And that leads to, and so Torben is, of course, dead. And they at first think May might be, or Osha might be responsible. She's not. And then they regroup and go, hey, the next target is the Wookiee Jedi, which I have a problem.
There's a battle between, they catch up to May.
Oh,
and
right. They
Saul
catch up with
feels
May.
like he has to be the one to bring her in. And of course,
they have a fight.
Yeah, they have a fight, and they get away. And of course, Osha has a chance to capture her, to catch her. And of course, conflicted, she lets her go.
Yeah, so the twins see each other, and he's pointed, Osha's pointed her blaster at May and misses, but she did it on purpose.
Yeah.
She didn't hit her.
She's conflicted.
May gets away. And so there you go, which is going to lead to a trip to this planet where the Wookiee Jedi, which I have a problem with already. Let me explain. The Wookiee Jedi is wearing a Jedi robe and clothes. So what does that mean Chewbacca was doing all along?
He's
in
free
Star
balling.
Wars.
He was
free balling. Chewbacca was free balling. So when you see like a Wookiee with clothes on, what the heck was Chewbacca doing?
Yeah.
It's
we're right now into episodes 3 and 4, so I don't know.
Yeah,
if you
well,
want
so let's end this. So that ends, and we're off, going to track down the Jedi Wookiee, and that's how that ends. So there's a conflict. She gets away. She's going to assassinate the Wookiee. All right. Now.
and that's your cliffhanger ending, by the way.
That's your cliffhanger. That's what you're going to see tonight. The big cliffhanger.
Yeah, they're going to visit a Wookiee Jedi. That's the cliffhanger.
And I will say this
too.
If you're a casual fan or whatever, you'll look at this and go, "Oh, this is kind of interesting. I'll keep watching." These episodes are for the most part inoffensive. It's bad, but not, offensively bad. But just wait. Just wait. Let's get your comments before we talk about episode 3 and 4. Here we go. Let's go.
Yes, from a groovy lava squirrel medic for 5. Thank you. Why is the Wookiee wearing a bumpet? Snooky the Wookiee?
Yeah, I Wookiees in clothes. It's just strange.
Well, yeah. When we get to episode 3, I have a comment about that because it's pretty.
It's
bad.
like if Jabba the Hutt was wearing clothes.
No, it's even worse.
Jabba naked?
No, I'm here to declare it's worse, and I'll tell you why when we get to it.
Okay.
From David Nelson for 2. Look like Mad Maxine, so didn't go. Yeah, okay. Day Trippers, yes, remember for 2 months. My favorite part of the Acolyte is when Neo tells Trinity, "I know Kung Fu." Arnold Squash Ha Negro for $7.99 Australian. In Kazakhstan, we have a saying that goes like this, Borat voice: letting a woman run Star Wars is like letting a monkey with one testicle fly a plane. Oh, fly a plane.
And thank you to our new members, Matt R. and Charlie3487. Check out our member exclusive videos. So
yes,
thank you.
And Joe Not a Fed for $2 Canadian. Acolyte is the wish of Star Wars. Yeah, I mean Disney is consistent. Let's just put it that way. They're going to ruin every franchise. This is the Marvels. This is Wish.
Keep going.
Curtis D of Montana for 2. Force Fight Club. And what are the rules to Force Fight Club? From the Reggie Reg for 2. I can't wait to see Crouching Tiger, Hidden Jedi.
It's all good.
Okay. From Rumble, Kevin ties for $1. Thank you. You don't understand how polite and dignified mechanics are. Yeah, but you remember these mechanics, they're illegal because you can't have.
Yeah, they're illegal mechanics.
Yeah, you can't have people doing mechanics. It has to be droids. Aurora uplinks for 5. Spiritual side of Star Wars may be reeling. Sorry for your experience, Ing. But there will be clever plots, witty ship captains, and war again. It will be fun.
We'll see about that.
Yeah. Fear the Tardo for 5. Frank Gore no here cause leave Beaks and Gamer stream. But Frank Gore and Christopher Drinker be favorite critic and alcoholics. Liver okay? Lock it down. Yay.
Lock it in. Yay. Thank you, Fear the Tardo. Thank you. That's awesome. Keep going.
Okay. From Anakmaman, abuser of Streamlabs for 5. Lesbians who stay together instead of breaking up after a week. I know Star Wars is both fantasy and sci-fi, but I can't. But I can only suspend my disbelief so much. Oh, you have no idea.
You have no idea. Just wait.
From Arnold Squash and Negro again for $2.99 Australian. R. Kelly peed on the lesbian mothers and made them prego. Yeah, that could have happened. Valiant for 20.
Hey,
I've arrived fashionably late. Not too far.
Such a great voice.
I know. Well, him and
awesome.
Pro, I tell you.
Yeah.
Let's see. From Warasi for 5. Jesus tap dancing Christ on a pogo stick. This looks absolutely horrible from the get-go. Chris, glad to see you doing better.
Yeah, well,
Chris finds new ways.
I've been going to the hospital. I was at the hospital yesterday. Cut my hand, got 7 stitches.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
I still think you can outdo yourself.
No more, Alan.
There are greater heights you can reach.
No more. All right. And we should warn everyone. Spoilers afoot.
I would almost say that if you want to enjoy the death of Star Wars to its full extent, shut off now and wait for episode 3 to come out and just take it all in as a.
Yeah, this is your warning right now. There will be spoilers in all of this because
no one's going to watch
need
it.
To hear it. And by the way, we are closing in. We need only 125 more subscribers get to 120,000. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. I would appreciate it. So thank you for that. Let's get into it.
And by the way, let's see. Well, I think we're close to 8,000 people watching this right now.
Okay.
All right.
Episode 3 of The Acolyte is going to break Star Wars with a complete redefinition of the Force. As we go now, you've gotten to the story at this point. The 2 sisters, one, they were both thought dead. The 2 sisters, now one evil, working for a Sith Lord, basically assassinating Jedi. Another one, just a humble life. She's a former Jedi, and she's working as a mechanic or a mechanic.
Let's just say a failed Padawan.
A failed Padawan. But now we go back 16 years into the past, where we see the story of the 2 young sisters. We open on an idyllic tree in the middle of a perfect, beautiful planet where there are little like birds floating, and they're using the Force to kind of play with these birds, the 2 sisters, who have a kind of a weird childlike rivalry. And they're being raised by a coven of witches, all women. And we meet their mother, what's her?
Their
Kirill.
mothers. Their mothers.
No, wait. You meet the first mother, Mother Kirill. Okay. And that mother brings them and says, "Hey, what are you doing here? You're too far from our sanctuary. Come back." And then they meet the matriarch of the coven of witches, played by, let's see, her name is Jodie Turner Smith. She's Mother Anastasia. So these are the 2 mothers who bore these twins. And they are as you get into you meet this whole coven of witches, and their whole philosophy is a little different than what we've been told the Force is. Alan, take it from there.
Yes, because life is connected through a thread. And by pulling on that thread and pushing on that thread, you are able to tap into powers. Powers that can help defend you, powers that can help you in fighting. But 1 is not strong enough, but 2 is stronger. But stronger than 2 are many.
That's exactly. So I took notes.
Yeah.
It's so they redefine what the Force is. She says some people call this thing the Force, but what it is a thread. And she re-explains the Force as a thread in the universe that you can pull on to use. And it's done in a matriarchal way that is so weird. It's like, don't listen to the Force. This is what we mean. Now the two children have to go through this
ascension ceremony.
a ritual which is called ascension, right? Which they acknowledge one is powerful, two is more powerful. Together, they're more powerful, whatever that means. But they are interrupted by Jedi because the Jedi believe that these two young girls are force powerful. And if they are, they could leave their coven and train to be Jedi. So it's like,
and who are these Jedi, by the way?
Well, Master Soul, Indara. It's the 4 Jedi that we met before. The one Wookiee Jedi, Torben, Indara, and Soul. They come there and they're like, "Hey, we think that your kids. Are there any kids here?" And they say, "No, there's no kids here." And they reveal, hey, "Okay, there's kids here."
You lied.
And it's like the Jedi are like the Child Protective Services of the galaxy. That if they find any children that are force sensitive, they can take them from you and train them. It's really weird. The Jedi are being set up to be evil, basically.
Now, here's the thing is, so we have these 2 kids, Osha and May, and Osha basically says, "I want to be a Jedi." Why do we know that? Because she says, "I want to be a Jedi." And throughout this whole episode, it's like, "But I want to be a Jedi. Can I be a Jedi? Can I leave you? But I want to be a Jedi." It's this idea that we're just saying it. We're not showing it. We're not showing what it is about Osha.
She never gives a reason why she wants to be a Jedi. I wrote this down. So yeah, there's Mother Coral and then the other mother. And so there's 2 mothers that created these children, right? And it's basically Mother Anasia that created them, but Mother Coral is the one that carried them, which make of that what you will, whatever that means.
Well, it's the midi-chlorians.
But she says, some called it a force, but we call it a thread. Pull the thread, changes everything. It's weird, but we know the thread is not a power you wield. And then she goes on, she says, here's where he gets really. The galaxy is not a place that welcomes women like us. They're victims. They're oppressed.
Yeah. It's in fact where they are. We should mention that where they are in the universe, they were exiled there.
They were exiled there. The galaxy doesn't welcome women like us. Basically, lesbians. I mean, they're basically lesbians.
They are lesbians.
And
the way they touch each other when they first meet, the hand stroke across the face.
Yeah,
it's pretty. They're lesbians.
Yeah,
because there ain't no man in that coven.
So it's a coven of lesbians that make 2 twins that they're going to indoctrinate into the power of the thread, which is their interpretation of the Force and re-explained. And I'll just say this, the dialogue between the 2 young twins, Osha and May, it's terrible. It's so bad. So they take the twins. The Jedi say, look, we want to test the twins to see if they're Force sensitive to train them as Jedi. So what they concoct a plan that they'll go in and they'll lie. When they go to take the test, the 2 twins make an agreement to lie about the test so they will fail the test. And actually, an old woman in the coven suggests it. And it's the most terrible digital effect of this old woman who looks like an ugly version of Yoda. Remember that? It's bad. Yeah. He says, why don't they just lie? And then whatever, So the 2 twins agree, okay, when we take this test, we're going to lie. And then they go and lie, but they get caught in the lie.
Well, no, May lies. Osha's conflicted because she wants to be a Jedi. And how do I know that? Because she says she wants to be a Jedi.
Yeah, and she says
so she winds up kind of endearing herself to Saul, who realizes that she wants to be a Jedi.
And then they catch her and basically say, hey, you're Force sensitive. And May is so distraught and pissed off at her sister, she burns down the place. These are like 11-year-old girls.
Okay, well, we should set that up a little bit differently. First, there's this rift that begins to form between May and Osha, where Osha says, "I want to be a Jedi," and May says, "You can't. You know, you're my sister. You can't because you're part of this coven. You can't because I hate you. You can't because I want to kill you."
Yeah, and she literally says, "I want to kill you."
Yeah. And then she grabs Osha's book that she's been making notes about the Jedi for since childhood or since birth, and by burning that book, a fire runs throughout the entire place. She starts this horrific fire, and then falls down a pit in the same way that Emperor Palpatine did in Return of the Jedi.
It's so god awful because it doesn't. So the 11, I want to kill you, sister, and burns down the place, and then everyone dies. You see this carnage of all the women, like in a pile.
Yeah, the Jedi are overseeing a pile of dead witches,
dead lesbians who've been oppressed. Yes, there's homophobia in Star Wars. I mean, when she said that line about, the galaxy is not a place that welcomes women like us, leaning into oppression and homophobia in Star Wars. And George Lucas stated that the only real racism in Star Wars was against droids, which made sense because of the Clone Wars, right? The clones battled the droids, which were bad and a tool and used to kill. And so it makes sense. People might not totally trust droids. That makes sense. And that's where racism exists in Star Wars. But no, we're being told the galaxy is not a safe place for women like us. So then they leave and they're all dead. The women in this coven are dead.
Except for one.
Osha, which there's a weird thing where Soul has this weird thing where he's likes the young girl and hugs her and says, "I'll take care of you." He's hugging her practically in tears. Soul is hugging Osha, he's in tears. "I'll train you. I'll take care of you. Don't worry. We will ease your..." It's so weird. None of this makes sense. Not any of it. It's just the way people act doesn't make sense. Osha wanting to be a Jedi. Why? Why does she want to be a Jedi so badly? The weird coven of lesbian witches that are oppressed. This is all episode 3. And put aside the fact that this is going to break Star Wars because of just redefining things. Mm-hmm. It's like regular normie fans of Star Wars are to look at this and think, what the hell's going on?
Again, when the end of Return of the Jedi, the end of Revenge of the Sith, is this where you imagined the Star Wars universe would end up?
Right.
Is this what you imagined the world of Star Wars being? And this was the point where it was like the Force is female. Star Wars is not for men anymore. It's not a boys brand anymore. It's a girls brand. It's decidedly a girls brand. And the other thing is this episode is a fundamental shift in the direction of Star Wars, of how we treat Jedi, of how we tell this lore. And to me, it's like, I can't be on board with this. This is not what I signed on to. When I watched the original series, when I watched the prequels, this is not where I anticipated this going, and I'm not on board. And that's fine. I'm an old man, who watched this as a kid, the original movies. So fine. It's for a brand new audience, and I'm okay with that. Audience, I hope you love it, and I hope you spend lots of money on it.
I mean, it's such a fundamental shift because what George Lucas said, you got to keep these things a little mysterious. Keep it somewhat mysterious. Don't over explain it. And they've done this hard shift. It doesn't make sense. It's yeah. Final thoughts on episode 3 before we go to comments.
Yeah, I mean, again, this was it for me. This was where Star Wars died for me once and for all. You know, I was slowly fading away over the last since the pandemic, and I'm done. You know, Star Wars. Like this is the last thing I bought of Star Wars was this.
No, how dare Well, actually, it's cool that it's in the old Kenner packaging. Yeah. I actually like that. No, so the Wish broke your faith in Disney animation, and episode 3 of The Acolyte broke your faith in Star Wars.
In Disney's handling of Star Wars. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, George Lucas, he even said recently that there's a fundamental not understanding what the Force is, what the Jedi are, and this will totally kill it. And the way that Jedi are portrayed in this story, they're like cops. I mean, there's like a scene that's right out of a cop chase video on local TV with like a floating spaceship and spotlight on someone. It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's just bad. So
let's also be real. Let's also be real. I don't think we fans, pre-Disney Star Wars fans, ever thought the Force had gender assigned to it.
Yes.
You know, I never thought of the Force as being male, but the Force is clearly female at this point.
Yep. Okay. Do we have any comments? No comments stunned. Are highlighted.
Everyone's stunned. Isn't there?
Stunned.
I saw some super chats come in.
Okay, did we get those? We're gonna pivot here. We're gonna pivot in a moment.
I'm having issues with. Okay, here. Yeah, let's see. I don't know. Something's going on with StreamYard, and I can't star anything, and but I can read. There's a from Dave Filoni's Dog for 20. I can't put it up on the screen, but I can confirm Leslie used AI to write her scripts. She was too busy pinning me on a couch, so Dave could violate me. This is like working for Harvey again, she said. Now bite the pillow. Like, I can't finish it.
Okay.
All right. Glenn Butch is a new member. And for $1.99, Gary Starchild gave us a $1.99 super sticker. Yeah, something weird is going on with StreamYard. And I'm wondering if Chris just dropped out to come back in.
All right. The starred comments were not showing up for me. It was a me issue. It was a me
okay,
issue.
let me drop out.
Let me start from the top. We're gonna review episode 4. Let me start from the top.
Let me do what you did. Let me do what you did. I'm gonna drop out and come back in.
Okay. I'm sorry. It's a StreamYard issue. It's not Atomic Glory who's working so hard behind the scenes right now, doing an amazing job. So there you go. Thank you for sticking with us through this.
Holy fucking shit, these reviews are delicious.
No idea what that means. I have no idea. So Alan will be back in a second. So just hang on.
Prepare her for our pleasure.
That was weird. Alan's back. Okay, he's back. You're back, Alan. All right, let's read Supers.
That was 4 in the morning. That was 4 in the freaking morning.
Oh, I remember that. Okay, let's get back to Supers. Yeah, weird. StreamYard is buggy today.
Okay, so, but I can see everything now. Yeah.
All right, cool. I will highlight them. Let's go.
Okay, from Arnold, from Arnold, 299 Australian. Thank you. Jedi Master Suck Black T. Oh my God.
Thank you for being a new member. Blair Slavin, thank you for being a new member.
New member. Low for £5. Disney Star Wars is a cargo cult. Ignorant fowls building airfields from palm trees in a vain hope that cargo planes will come.
Ignorant fools.
Yes, from Arnold again for $2.99 Australian. Yeah, there you go. We can all read that.
Leslie's BJ blah 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 sounds well written. Yep.
But we appreciate the support, Arnold.
Yes, thank you.
From NK Solid 82 for $4.99. This reminds me of when Hulk Hogan had twin referees sabotaging his wrestling match. Yes, the Hebner brothers. I remember that. From Mike Waite for 10. OSHA is a strange name. Are they checking occupational health and safety? Sounds just as bad as Michael Berman from Star Trek Discovery. Thank you for your great content this week. Bad Adam 12 for 10. Thank you. First, Star Wars is just the first 3 movies. Second, women don't see themselves as Jedi. They see the Jedi as them. That's why the Jedi are written as thugs by feminist writers.
Oh, that's a good insight.
Yeah. From Leland for 20. Thank you. As a former employee of OSHA, the Occupational Health and Safety Administration, I resent the theft of our name. Are these characters coming up named FEMA and Noah? Stay tuned.
Yeah, the names are really bad in this show because they're not memorable. They're not memorable.
Jackie is memorable.
Yeah.
Curtis D of Montana for 10. OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, is now in Star Wars. That's what I think of every time you say her name, LOL. How are you doing, Chris? Are you having any issues from the stroke?
Just my speech is not 100%. It's about, I'd say 80%.
And you're prone to slicing yourself open now.
Yeah. And I'm prone to accidents. All right. But thank you, Curtis, for checking in. Thank you for your super chat. Very generous. Yeah. Moving on. We got 20 more to go.
And here we go. Leon Reaper for £5. I don't know if the Acolyte has saved Star Wars. Can Chris save Christmas?
Well, I'm growing a beard, and let's see where this is by December.
Yes, Taker 610 for 5. Thank you. If Gary doesn't have a thumbnail of Leslie Headland with a mustache and a sombrero and the word Taco Light, I will be immensely disappointed in him.
Yeah. By the way, I will mention we're doing a special Nerdrotic Nooner tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Check your local listings. So Gary and I will be talking Acolyte later tonight, and I'll be on. So there you go. Probably have other people on too, but I can't speak for him. So it's his show. So no Nooner tomorrow, but a late night Nooner. The Nooner After Dark. So look for me tonight on that show. Going forward here.
Nooner After Dark. That's just nighttime sex. From Albert Nada Retro for 10 Canadian. Gender is no excuse for being bad at your job and disrespecting the fan base. DC Fontana of Star Trek fame and Anne C. Crispin, who wrote the Han Solo trilogy, prove this. Gender is relevant. Yeah, incompetence. I think that's what you're saying. From Israel R for 5. Hey, guys. Hello, guys. Great to see you together again. Star Wars is already dead, but the show is just KK and Headland slapping us in the face directly. Yep.
Wow.
Big Worm for 10. Hail. Want to give Alan some serious credit for stepping up as a business partner. Been with mine for nearly 30 years, and we've had to do this for each other. F Disney Star Wars, will hate watch, live long and prosper.
Well, I don't want to say something nice about Alan on the stream because I might get clipped.
Heaven forbid.
But I have said privately, thank you, and you're a great friend.
Oh, thanks. Well,
did I say that?
I believe those.
Save those texts.
Clip
I'll
it.
never say it. I will never say it publicly. But yes.
And I'll never say publicly that you're a great friend as well. So don't count.
Don't do it, Alan.
I won't.
Arnold Squash for $2.99.
Dark
Big
Dark
Baka got that
Big Baka got Deston signed Barbara.
Thank you, Arnold Squash
Default name for $5. Star Wars can't be making a profit, so I guess I don't get why Disney persists with this failure and doesn't just sell the franchise. Yeah. I mean, they'll lose. I mean, how much do they pay for the franchise? How much do you think they're going to get for the franchise? Joe Not a Fed for $2 Canadian. All the plots they need for decades are in KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic. That's right. Yep. Extended Universe. We'll throw that out there. Sailor Mercury for $2. A midichlorian explanation is better than Threads. Yeah. Curtis D of Montana for $2. Leslie Helen is running a train off the Force.
On the Force. Oh my God, that's the worst description because I pictured it in my head. Awful.
All right, from Thomas Pickett for $5. Thank you. How can we put a pillow over the face of Disney? I don't know. Is there a pillow that big?
Misery.
Michael P for $20. Seriously, here's some money. Too bad you can't drink the pain away, Chris. Don't pop another gasket.
Yes, I have not had a drink in like 2 months. So there you go. I'm very much on my health plan. So thank you, those who are asking and curious. It's I feel really good, actually. Except I cut my hand and went to the hospital. So there you go.
Okay.
All right.
I bought us some time, so we can go after 11.
Okay, let's keep going.
Supas. Yes, Forgotten Lectures for €2. Sounds like episode 9. I am all the Jedi.
It's worse. It's worse.
It's worse. Thomas Pickett for $5. Do these witches have a Subaru ship? Wear vests under their Jedi robes? Small dogs?
Yes,
Thomas
and
Pickett,
a U-Haul. And a U-Haul.
Yeah, there you go. Thomas Pickett for $2. Yes, Star Wars is about lusting after your sister.
And thank you, Glenn Bush, for being a member. Check out our member exclusive videos.
Yeah. Let's see. Rumble, evident hair for $2. Dave Filoni's wife essentially had an orgasm over redefining the Force as being matriarchal and portraying a coven of lesbian witches as oppressed with twin Jesus births.
That's the plot synopsis for episode 3.
There you go. Jerry Starchild gives us a 199 super sticker. Thank you for that. Bane's son for 10. Moving down. One more. You want me to do it?
Sorry, Alan. I'm sorry.
Yes, here we go. This is the 1994 lore that they found to make male the new lore for Star Wars because it models the DEI agenda.
Yep.
Right. Lean back, have a snack, take a nap for 10. The Force is a thread, a beautiful thread, a thread you can pull. And then when the
I didn't even think about that.
You have to pull it down.
Oh my God. Oh my God. The Force is a thread, a beautiful thread, a thread you can pull. And when the tampon pops out, you have pulled through. Please discard and grab a new thread.
Well, yeah, lightsabers are the new dispenser for them.
That's the Force. You're forcing out something.
Yes, okay.
All right.
Patrick Lemire for $199. Headland doesn't write pop fiction, it's hate fiction.
No, Headland doesn't write fan fiction, it's hate fiction.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Douglas A. Burton for $4.99. So it is implied that the Force is female or feminine.
Is it implied that the Force is female or feminine, and the Jedi are taking advantage of it or using the Force unfairly? Well, it's these coven of women say, people call it the Force. Here's our explanation of what it is. And we're oppressed in the galaxy. It's not a safe place for women like us. So there's this coven that's hidden away. and has birthed these Jesus twins, basically. And they don't overtly say the Force is female, but draw the conclusion it's a coven of witches.
Yeah. And it's the Jedi's fault. That's the implication. The Jedi did this.
Yep. Moving on.
All right, Beer Source Rex for $2 Anyone get stabbed with in the torso with a lightsaber?
Not so far. Not in the first 4 episodes.
It'll happen.
Thank you, Beer Source Rex.
Dave Fields for $9.99. It's as if Kathleen Kennedy and her loser woke friends stole the Mona Lisa and painted a pride flag over it. It is for their selfish, narcissistic reason.
Yes, this is them reframing everything. In a sense, yeah, and if you looked at all that we showed it already on previous shows, the behind the scenes material, the interview with Leslie Headland, she's saying this is her story, that she took the basically husk of Star Wars and put it on her story to tell this story of her being estranged from her sister. Anyways, Arnold Squash Nah for $7.99
Australian. Getting head from
Leslie Bars would be like having mad sex with a cardboard box. I ain't even gonna lie about that shit. Sound wild as shit, bro. I read that terrible. I'm so sorry. That's terrible. Right. But thank you, Arnold Squash. Nah.
From Sado Mars for $1.99. Still have my OT laser disc. Only Star Wars for me.
Yep, I got them too. I have my lasers.
But do you have a player? Swan J for 10 Australian. Headland and her wife have a child. The announcement on Instagram was lovingly made by many. She is so beautiful and looks exactly like Leslie. Definitely not a lesbian coven self-insert, though. Didn't realize they had a child. Congratulations. Yeah. Joe, not a Fed for $2. So lesbian space witches can't fight fires. Got it. Yeah, you think
that's true.
Yeah, you think there's certain things that they do in the show that could have easily put out that fire, but they did. From Shriek 1988 for $5. How far will Disney take this thread nonsense? Will it be forgotten by the end of the series, or will Rey Palpatine be threatening in her movie? That's my fear. Is that this is just the beginning of the redefining. I mean, okay. From Fictitious Dave Savage for £2. As a prequel, it means the threads didn't catch on.
Oh yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, inverted H15. I'm gonna go with that. $5.
High five. Inverted high five sends in 5 and doesn't say anything, but thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Next.
All right. Bad Adam 12 for 10. May the menstrual cycle be with you.
Wait. Can you say that again?
Will the menstrual cycle be with you?
No,
all the way.
May the menstrual cycle. Say it again, Alan.
Okay, here we go. Got it? May the menstrual cycle be with you always. No, I'm sorry. Here, I'll do it one more time. May the menstrual cycle be with you always. That's
gonna get clipped. Thanks, Bad Adam 12. Oh my God.
Films
We're almost through these, folks. We'll get to episode 4.
What? Who cares about episode 4? For $5, what if different groups interpret the Force different ways? Like we interpret God differently through religions from a certain point of view.
Lord of the Films, one would hope, but yes. It's that's a way to explain it. Different groups explain the Force differently. This is their version.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's what Headland was going for.
Right.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Dave Filoni's dog for 10. Dave likes to dress us as Kylo Ren and Rey for fantasy night. We then spend the night having lightsaber duels. I wish Michael Vick would take me back. I didn't know how good I had it.
Oh, wow. Michael Vick reference. That's good. Right. Thank you so much.
The Anti-Woke Academy for Arts and Sciences for $1.99. So it's a lesbian fanfic fever dream. Yep.
100%.
All right, Spartan 17G for 5. It also seems they are now making Anakin's birth mean nothing important now.
True.
Yeah. Although we didn't really take that midichlorian thing seriously anyways. Curtis D from Montana for 2. Do the witches fly now? Asking for Finn.
They don't fly, but they have powers.
They will. Trucker Mark for 2. So the Force is a tampon?
100%. And there we are.
Thank
you
you for
through it, Alan.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Acolyte episode 4. If you're paying attention to what is the fanfic of this.
Yeah, you're gonna have to carry the plot on this one.
I'll give you the overall impression because it's not as there's not as many things that are as important. The Jedi are trying to track down May. They fly to the planet that what's the Wookiee's name? The Jedi Wookiee?
Yeah, I know it's on the IMDb somewhere. I forget. It's a weird name.
Yeah. So it's Kanaka. Kanaka.
Yeah, that's
played by Jonas Sutamo. So it's Kanaka, which sounds like Chewbacca.
By the way, let me just say this. In episode 3, the 4 Jedi come to the planet, and they're all meant to look younger. The young Kanaka is basically a dude with a Wookiee head on.
Yeah. Nothing special. So
yeah, it's just a normal sized guy with a Wookiee head. He becomes a Wookiee in episode 4.
Kanaka's on this resort planet in kind of a self-exile after the events. He goes there, he's living alone, he's just wants to be away from everybody. And May, along with her companion, her dealer, who was helping her out on the other planet, he wants to track him down and kill him. So May is on the road while she's being pursued by the Jedi who have a tracker, which is a little creature that's like this big, that's like a rat that can smell. Yeah. And the Jedi are following this little rat as it's
hold on. They follow him or them.
Yeah, they use a pronoun to describe this creature. Is he or they. It was cringe. Like when you're, so what is he or they doing here? Like, oh, well, they'll literally a pronoun reference in regard to a creature. So this creature that Yord can talk to, because Yord learned many languages, is they're following this creature to follow May to get to, what's his name? Kelnaka.
Yeah.
Right. Who's in exile. The basics of it is, I'll just give a very quick impression. They go to where Kanaka's ship is, where he's like hiding out in the middle of this vast jungle, which looks terrible, by the way. The jungle's terrible. They're tracking, and there's a scene where Osha, like, this is a trope in Star Wars, but creatures that want to kill Jedi. So they're in this part of the Force. It's mysterious. Some creature is awakened because Osha can sense it, and the creature tries to go after her and then is killed. The creature is killed.
The Jedi killed the creature.
Osha feels guilty that the creature tried to kill her, so it's now dead. And there's even a worse thing where, before all this, there was a scene with what's her name? Leslie Headland's wife. What's her name? Vernestra Rowe.
Like Vernestra, that's right.
They actually feel bad for May. She's already killed 2 Jedi, and they're like, well, from her point of view, there's like this sympathy towards the murderer. How it's so modern times. Mm-hmm. It's weird. So they're trying to get to May to stop her from killing Kelnaka and maybe turn her, because she's just misunderstood. Mm-hmm. So they finally get to Kelnaka's hideout, and what do they see? He's already dead. Who killed him? and all the Jedi are there, and suddenly a mysterious figure comes up. And who is it? This mysterious Sith, all in a mask. We saw it in episode 1. Mask, a robe. I think that the mysterious figure, I'm gonna guess it's Mother Anissa, Anastasia. Mother Anastasia is this mysterious figure. Okay. That's my guess. Okay, because we maybe saw like she's in the pile of bodies, but is she really dead? So I think Mother Anastasia is the dark Sith. That's going to be the reveal. Just a guess. This is the 4th episode. So you see this Sith Lord come up in the robe. All the Jedi turn on their lightsabers. There's like 8 of them. There's Sol, Yord, Jecki, all these other characters. I kind of like Jecki. She's like another comic relief. She's not a bad character. But they all turn on their swords, and what does the Sith do? A huge force push, and all the Jedi go back, cut the credits.
Well, except for May. He's the Sith is standing over May.
Yeah.
I believe the intention is the reveal. That
right.
In episode 5, we learned the identity of this mysterious Sith Lord. Yeah.
And you and I have not seen it.
Yep.
That's what happens in episode 4. I'm sort of left with I don't care. This whole thing, it's all going to lead. We already know where it's going to go. It's going to lead to the 2 sisters coming together. The power of 1, the power of 2, the power of many. The 2 sisters will unite to take down the Sith, whoever the Sith person is, which might be Mother Anastasia, who will be revealed to be her, who they're going to turn to the good side like Vader. It's a retelling of that story. That's speculation on my part that it's going to be their mother. There's going to be an I am your mother moment. Like I am your father. This Dark Lord, does this make sense, Alan?
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's so bad it makes sense. So the 2 sisters, May and Osha, the good sister, the bad sister, must unite to use the power of 2. They have this weird little poem that they tell to each other.
Which is cringe-inducing.
It's cringe-inducing.
Did you write it down? Or
what it is. What's that?
Did you write it down?
No, I didn't. It was I groaned every time they said it.
I'm like, if you had said something clever, I would have said, yeah, I don't believe you. But just what you said and your theories is like, yeah, that's probably what it is.
So this is my prediction for the ending of The Acolyte is the 2 sisters, May and Osha, will team up against this dark Sith Lord that will be revealed to be their mother, Mother Anastasia. And there'll be an I am your mother moment. And they'll either kill her or have to turn her to the good side. And that will be the end. Remember, I said it. That's my prediction. That's what's coming. Alan, what are your thoughts now on episode 4? And what do you think of my prediction?
Yeah. So after watching episode 3, I remember starting episode 4 saying, I really could care less what happens from now on. Which is why I said, you need to explain this, because I barely, it's kind of like, I watched the first 3 episodes this morning. I haven't gotten to the 4th again. And part of me is like, it doesn't matter. Does it really matter? Because the implication is that we are taking the Jedi down a couple notches in this series. That the Jedi are just as flawed and prone to, they talk a lot about politics. The Jedi talk about, that's a bad political move. They've mentioned that several times throughout the series. It is just basically, removing the balls off of the Jedis once and for all. Yeah. And, you just kind of, okay. So this particular episode just felt like it was hitting home the message. For example, you talked about they're walking through the forest. The Jedi are walking through the forest. They disturb these creatures that are basically hugging trees. One of the creatures that was disturbed by the presence of the Jedi flies up and attacks them, and they kill him with a lightsaber. That's what they're feeling bad about, that they are the ones who caused the death of this creature, because they're the ones who caused that creature to attack them. If that's not the message, if that's not this woke liberalism that we've been sitting through for the last few years, I don't know what is, because this is exactly the direction they're going. And so I'm kind of curious who the reveal is, and so I will be watching at least the first 5 minutes.
It's the mother. I can almost. Should we bet money?
Yeah, but the thing is,
Alan.
Honestly, I don't care.
Money.
No, we're not going to bet money because I don't care. Because even if it is, I can't think of the reason why that's significant. I can't. I don't understand why I would care that it was the mother. That's the thing is, there's this giant reveal coming up, and no matter who they put behind there, unless it's Yoda, it's gonna all be a big letdown. Yeah, so I'm gonna put money that it's Yoda. That's who the big reveal is, a young Yoda.
It's the reveal is it's their mother, and she reveals, and then I am your mother, because all of this stuff has been a rehash of things we've already seen jumbled up by Chat GPT. It's like a Star Wars randomizer. So when you play a video game, you randomize to create a character because you're too lazy. I don't care what someone's eyebrows look like. Some people do, but you can just click randomizer. Okay, I get that's the one I want. I'm gonna go with that character. So it's like putting the plot for a Star Wars movie on randomize, and this is what we got: a full-on feminist like messaging with this, like, it's basically telling Luke's story from a female point of view, a whole female version of that. I am your mother. Some variation of that line will be spoken. This is a prediction. I already told you what happened in episode 4. Based on everything I've seen, I think I figured out the ending, and we'll know in 6 weeks.
So here's my take on the ending. This is the appearance of the first Sith Lord, and that the Sith Lord needs its follower, and its apprentice, and it's either going to be May or Osha.
May is the apprentice,
or is it Osha?
Either one, whatever. There's going to be a lot of conversations. Come with me, join me. It'll be like,
I mean, if Headland was smart, it's going to be a battle to the death.
We will defeat the Jedi. Join me, and we'll defeat the Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it's Osha, I think I'll give them credit if it's Osha, because they're going to turn her to the dark side. If even they're going to go in that direction, that would be interesting to have her go to a battle of the death against her sister. Flipping the roles, that would be the subverting expectations. Is Headland smart enough to do that? Can she make something like that exciting? I don't know. I doubt it.
All right, let's go to your comments and concerns from, here we go, right here.
Okay, let me, from Aurora Uplinks for 2. Thank you. You guys want to read a Star Wars fan script? You might like it.
And another one from Arnold Squash for $2.99. You telling me Penis Baka is just a giant hairy dildo? Yep.
From Cameron 20587 for $6.99 Canadian. Thank you. Turns out Kennedy got her version of Star Wars. All they have to do is send it to another galaxy with no Jedi. This was Kennedy's plan for her trilogy. Douglas A. Barton for $4.99. does that mean Shmi Skywalker is a covenantless widow? Which, since she had Anakin in this fashion, get ready for that.
Ooh, yeah. Thank you, Douglas, for the 499. Another good theory.
All right, Thomas Pickett for 5. Does OSHA look like a Jedi desk's height, or making sure you aren't lifting anything too heavy with the Force? Yeah, small. Well, Yoda could lift an X-wing. From Rumble, Visitor 22 for 10. Thank you. I will always stand by the statement: Disney Star Wars isn't Star Wars. You're not the only one.
This seals the deal.
Mm-hmm. It's all Disney Star Wars from now on. Curtis D from Montana for 5. The person in the mask is Tom Cruise coming home from my Eyes Wide Shut party. That'd be awesome. You can
picture that. Thank you, David. Generous.
Yeah. Oh, that was Curtis. But David Fields for $4.99. Darth Menopause. All right. And then from Rumble, Evident Hair for 2. Thank you. Could Kanaka be some sort of reference to KK being portrayed as a Bigfoot meme every time as plays his orientation tune? Is she gone or is she here? Seems quite queer.
Is she gone or is she here? Kathleen Kennedy's employment status is... I forget it. I love that. That was funny. Bring it back.
I haven't seen it. Okay. From Gringosaurus for $4.99. Now it makes sense why they've hired an activist to direct the Rey movie. Oh, that Rey movie. I mean, can you imagine?
It's going to be awful. Yeah.
She will discover the thread. From MK Solid 82 for 2. And she is wearing a Kylo helmet just because.
Yep. She has like a Kylo Ren type helmet.
Yeah, but doesn't it have a smile kind of going across it? Or is that just the reflection?
Yeah. No,
From Dave. Okay. Dave Filoni's dog for 10. If Dave put half the effort he puts into violating me into his storytelling, every Star Wars project would be as good as The Empire Strikes Back. P.S. Anyone have a spare wood chipper I can dive into?
Thanks. Thanks, Dave Filoni's dog. That's great.
Yeah, you should read this next one.
And Arnold Squash for $2.99. Dark Lord Mother Anus Hair. Aya? What's her name? Ayo?
Aurora Uplinks for 5. Are they saying that when a group of women raise 2 children, one is a killer who doesn't want to be alone with them, and the other wants to get away? Interesting.
I think they may be unintentionally saying things they didn't mean. A lot of things. You'll see. So move it. Thank you.
I want to kill you. Yeah. From Elias Ending for 5 Canadian. Wokeness is just another communist power grab. It is a typical communist fashion. Oh, in typical communist fashion, it will only go away once. It's done enough damage. Changed my mind.
No, I agree. They destroyed one of the great mythologies of that's not just, I would say, America, the world. Star Wars is beloved worldwide before Disney. Mm-hmm. Even the mixed reaction to the prequels, Star Wars was beloved storytelling so many could relate to. And now it's like the husk of Star Wars. Mm-hmm. We're taking a narcissistic woman's fantasy about reconnecting with her estranged sister, inspired by the movie Frozen. We've put the shell and the meat husk of Star Wars on it to sell it to the public. It's embarrassing. So, yeah.
I just find it sad. Do you want to do the Rumble one first, or? Oh no, never mind. I got it.
It's right here.
Okay, got it. Dark Hierophant for $2. Reveal, I am your brother, Darth Scissor.
Okay,
I'm your birther. Reveal, I am your birther, Darth Scissor.
I am your birther, Darth Scissor. Yeah, it's you know what? The more I think about it, I'm right. I'm right with this prediction.
That's fine.
I am right. I don't see how it could go any other way.
Maybe for me, it's just I wanted someone more compelling than that. But you're probably right.
Because I'm telling you I'm right because it's so bad.
I know.
All right.
Keep so I'm going to waste. Yeah, I'm going to waste. Okay. Yeah. The Anti-Woke Academy for Arts and Sciences for $4.99. Thank you. ChatGPT, make me a Star Wars movie, put chicks in it, make it lame and gay.
You got your wish. It's called The Acolyte.
All right, from Zamo for I believe that's Mexican dollars for $129. Remember the leaked rumor plot for the Rey movie? Are they going to repeat themselves, or may in real life be, or in may or be that the rumor was really for the Acolyte? I don't remember the rumor.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Suns and Shadows for 2. Thank you. I'll stick with Farscape. Thanks. You're not the first person to say that, actually. From Alejandro Montoya Marin for $9.99.
Hey, Alejandro, good to see you.
Wait.
I gotta say, I'm sorry. Wait. So I'm sorry I missed your movie. I will see it. I'm my apologies. I've been having struggles lately, so there you go. But could you read that? Thank you, Alejandro.
Wait. So I shouldn't buy my laser disc whip. Or sorry, I shouldn't buy my laser whip at Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, don't bother.
Thanks,
work. Alejandro.
First of all, it won't work. It was made by Disney. From Yojin Pace for $199. Will it actually be shown in places like China? It could. It's just
here's the thing.
Lesbianism is that. Yeah.
The thing is this: the first 2 episodes, there's not very much objectionable. By the 3rd and 4th episode, it's off the rails. There you go.
And from Red French Moon for €2. Vavoom!
Yeah, well, I hope you're a member, so you watched all the 13 videos I posted from Lucha Vavoom. That was a lot, but thank you for that. I appreciate it. Alan, one more super chat here coming in hot.
From Charles Harrison for $5. Using a Star Trek episode title with a twist, The Acolyte, The Trouble with Tribbles.
No, you read super chats about as good as Garrett. No, you actually read them better.
I can't. Okay, first of all, let me say small.
This. Using a Star Trek episode title with a twist, The Acolyte, The Trouble with Tribbing. Do you know what tribbing is, Alan?
No.
Someone in the chat, tell Alan what tribbing is.
Yeah, you want me to look it up on Pornhub or something? Or
Google tribbing. Google tribbing, Alan. Wait, here's one last one right here.
All right, from Micah Devereaux for $10. Jedi are cops, and we all know how liberals feel about cops. The twist will be they're evil. The flashback will recontextualize the witches dying and shows that, surprise, it was the Jedi that killed them. I mean, that's certainly the implication, the reason these Jedi are often exiled and want to kill themselves. Yeah. From Dave Filoni's dog for $5. Dave loves Frozen. He dresses up in a bottomless version of Elsa's dress and sings Let It Go every time he puts a ball gag in my mouth. Please let me die.
That dog is really getting...
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Last one's for
Jack Brewer became a new member. That's great, Jack. And Arnold Squash for $7.99 says, all Star Wars fans seeing Leslie's fat effing head for the first time floating in low orbit. That's no moon. That's a space station. Which, well, it could be. So thank you for that. And Anakin will destroy. I want to say something here. Film Threat will be taking Hollywood on the Rocks. Will be at a different time. We normally do Wednesday. We're probably going to be doing Tuesdays until Acolyte is done. So just turn on notifications. We will be doing this every Tuesday. So there you go. Final super chats to read.
Yes, from Falame for €5. Hear me out. The High Republic stands for our reality. It lays out why this debauchery necessarily has to lead to a dictatorship under thunderous applause.
Yeah.
Interesting. S. Sullivan for 5. Not defending woke garbage, but the extended universe had Witches of Dathomir, and episode 2 had Annie and Obi acting like cops and the Jedi being a-holes.
Well, that's what this is. That's what this is. Thanks, Sullivan.
Yeah. Red French Moon for €2. I did watch them and want more. Vavoom.
Oh, thanks, Red French Moon. I will see if I might have a few more videos up my sleeve I'll be posting later today. So no more super chats. That's the Acolyte first 4 episodes. We will talk more next week. This Friday, our normal Film Threat live cast in the morning. We'll be talking about all the movies opening in theaters. I'll probably have more Acolyte talk, to be honest. Yeah. And thank you to the 7,000 people that have been watching. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I will be on the Nooner After Dark with Gary tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific time. That will be 10 p.m. Eastern. So look for me. I'm sure Gary will gather a coven of male witches. That makes no sense. So there you go. I want to thank our mods, Lord Thoth, the Chicago Box Mexican Iron Man, our producer, Agluccio, and Atomic Lori. Thank you so much. We will be back on Friday and the next week, Tuesday, for more Acolyte talk. Alan, any final comments?
Oh, I'm just sad. I'm mourning the loss of my childhood. Thanks, Disney. And thanks for getting us all these views, too.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. And that wraps it up. We'll be back with a lot more this Friday. So
Bad Boys 4.
Watching. Yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you. Hail to the 199. And thank you, everyone. See you Friday and next week. And Alan?
Let's get out of here.